screens and porches are classified as exterior spaces under electrical codes. This classification necessitates the use of galvanized iron, commonly referred to as GI, protected electrical components and wiring methods. The primary reason for this requirement is to mitigate the risk of corrosion. Exterior environments, even those partially shielded like screen porches, are exposed to moisture, humidity, and temperature fluctuations, all of which accelerate the corrosion process in metals. Galvanized iron protection involves coating steel or iron with a layer of zinc. This zinc coating acts as a barrier, preventing corrosive substances from reaching the underlying metal. Should the zinc coating be scratched or damaged, the zinc will corrode preferentially to the steel, providing continued protection through a process known as sacrificial corrosion. The National Electrical Code, or NEC, addresses wiring methods and materials suitable for wet or damp locations. Screen porches typically fall under the definition of a damp location, meaning they are sheltered from direct exposure to rain but are still subject to moisture. Article 100 of the NEC defines locations as either dry, damp, or wet. A dry location is not normally subject to dampness or wetness. A damp location is a location protected from where they are not subject to saturation with water or other liquids but subject to moderate degrees of moisture. A wet location is a location subject to saturation with water or other liquids. Section 300.9 of the NEC addresses raceways and wet locations above grade, requiring them to be arranged and installed so that water will not accumulate within the raceway. Section 314.15 of the NEC covers boxes, conduit bodies, and fittings in damp or wet locations, requiring them to be identified for the location. This means that the boxes and fittings must be designed and constructed to prevent moisture from entering and causing corrosion or electrical faults. Several wiring methods are approved for use in damp locations, provided they are properly installed and supported. These include, firstly, rigid metal conduit, or RMC, which is a heavy-gauge steel conduit that provides excellent physical protection and corrosion resistance, especially when galvanized. Secondly, intermediate metal conduit, or IMC, is a lighter gauge steel conduit than RMC, but still offers good protection against physical damage and corrosion. Thirdly, electrical metallic tubing, or IMT, is a thin wall conduit that is suitable for use in damp locations when installed with fittings listed for wet locations. Fourthly, non-metallic conduit, such as PVC conduit, is corrosion resistant and suitable for use in damp locations. However, it is important to consider the temperature limitations of PVC conduit, as it may become brittle in cold temperatures. Fifthly, cables listed for wet locations, such as Type UF cable, are designed to withstand moisture and are suitable for direct burial or installation in damp locations. When using any of these wiring methods, it is crucial to use fittings that are listed for wet locations. These fittings are designed to create a watertight seal, preventing moisture from entering the enclosure. Additionally, all metal components, such as boxes, conduit, and fittings, should be properly grounded to provide a path for fault current and to minimize the risk of electric shock. Grounding is addressed in Article 250 of the NEC, which provides detailed requirements for grounding and bonding electrical systems. Proper grounding ensures that any fault current will safely flow back to the source, tripping a circuit breaker or fuse and de-energizing the circuit. This helps to prevent electrical shocks and fires. In addition to using GI-protected components and proper wiring methods, it is also important to consider the location of electrical outlets and other devices on a screen porch. Outlets should be located in areas that are less likely to be exposed to moisture, such as under an overhang or on an interior wall. Ground fault circuit interrupter, or GFCI, protection is required for all 120 volts. 15 amps and 20 amps receptacles installed in damp or wet locations, as specified in Section 210.8 of the NEC. GFCIs are designed to detect small imbalances in current and to quickly de-energize the circuit, preventing electrical shocks. They are an essential safety device in any location where moisture is present. Furthermore, any outdoor lighting fixtures should be listed for wet locations. These fixtures are designed to withstand exposure to rain and moisture and are typically made of corrosion-resistant materials. When installing lighting fixtures, it is important to ensure that all wiring connections are properly sealed to prevent moisture from entering the fixture. Regular inspections of electrical systems on screen porches are recommended to identify and address any potential problems. Look for signs of corrosion, such as rust or pitting, on metal components. Check for loose or damaged wiring. Ensure that all GFCIs are functioning properly. By taking these precautions, you can help to ensure the safety and reliability of electrical systems on screen porches. It's also important to consult with a qualified electrician to ensure that all electrical work is performed in accordance with NEC and local codes. An electrician can assess the specific conditions of the screen porch and recommend the appropriate wiring methods and materials. They can also perform inspections and testing to ensure that the electrical system is safe and code compliant. In summary, the use of GI-protected components is essential for electrical installations on screen porches due to their classification as exterior spaces subject to moisture. Proper wiring methods, grounding, GFCI protection, and regular inspections are all crucial for ensuring the safety and reliability of these electrical systems. Always consult with a qualified electrician to ensure compliance with the NEC and local codes. The NEC provides detailed guidelines for electrical installations in various locations, including damp and wet environments. Adhering to these guidelines is critical for preventing electrical hazards and ensuring the long-term performance of electrical systems. Remember that electrical codes are constantly evolving, so it's important to stay updated on the latest requirements. Local jurisdictions may also have additional requirements that must be followed. Consulting with a qualified electrician is the best way to ensure that all electrical work is performed safely and in accordance with applicable codes. In addition to corrosion protection, proper wiring methods are also essential for ensuring the safety of electrical systems on screen porches. All wiring should be installed in accordance with the NEC and should be properly supported and protected from physical damage. Wires should be sized appropriately for the load they are carrying to prevent overheating. All connections should be made inside approved enclosures to protect them from moisture and physical damage. Grounding is another critical aspect of electrical safety. All metal components, such as boxes, conduit, and equipment, should be properly grounded to provide a path for fault current. This helps to prevent electrical shocks and fires. Grounding electrodes, such as ground rods or metal water pipes, should be installed in accordance with the NEC to ensure a reliable ground connection. GFCI protection is required for all receptacles installed in damp or wet locations. GFCIs are designed to detect small imbalances in current and to quickly energize the circuit, preventing electrical shocks. They are an essential safety device in any location where moisture is present. Regular testing of GFCIs is recommended to ensure that they are functioning properly. Outdoor lighting fixtures should be listed for wet locations and should be installed in accordance with the manufacturer's instructions. Lighting fixtures should be made of corrosion-resistant materials and should be properly sealed to prevent moisture from entering the fixture. When installing lighting fixtures, it is important to consider the location of the fixture and to choose a fixture that is appropriate for the environment. Regular inspections of electrical systems on screen porches are recommended to identify and address any potential problems. Look for signs of corrosion, loose wiring, and damaged components. Test GFCIs regularly to ensure that they are functioning properly. By taking these precautions, you can help to ensure the safety and reliability of electrical systems on screen porches. Finally, always remember to energize the circuit before working on any electrical equipment. This is the most important safety precaution that you can take. If you are not comfortable working on electrical equipment, it is best to call a qualified electrician. Electrical work can be dangerous, and it is important to take all necessary precautions to prevent accidents. Consider the specific conditions of the screen porch, such as the level of exposure to moisture and sunlight, when selecting electrical components and wiring methods. Select components that are designed to withstand the environment and to provide long-lasting performance. Regular maintenance of electrical systems on screen porches is essential for preventing problems and ensuring safety. Clean electrical components regularly to remove dirt and debris. Inspect wiring and connections for signs of damage. Replace any worn or damaged components promptly. By following these guidelines, you can help to ensure the safety and reliability of electrical systems on screen porches. Always prioritize safety when working with electricity. If you are not comfortable performing electrical work yourself, it is best to call a qualified electrician.